Good morning, my friends. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. We are in the 1M clone today. I haven't driven this car since Orlando, so it's nice to get back in it. Got the gold wheels on it now. Looks really good. Forgot how much I really liked that champagne gold mixed with the black. I had these wheels on the E92 M3 for so long, and man, I just feel like the M3 looks so much better with the black wheels, and this car looks so much better with the gold wheels. But we are on our way to the shop, CES Motorsport. It's been a minute since we've been there. Well, I mean, we were over there to do the turbo kit, but it's been a minute since we've actually gotten into some projects over there because I've just been so busy with the pre-invasion stuff that it's kind of like consumed me. But we're gonna have a lot more content with those guys soon because we have so many things on deck. Today, we have taken delivery of a wonderful package from our friends over at Naughty Auto Parts out in California. They are incredible, you guys. If you need any used parts for your BMWs, hit them up. I have a ton of stuff coming from them already. I've already purchased a ton of things from them. They are just fantastic. But Noor and the guys over at Naughty Parts have delivered the rear subframe for the 135. So we're gonna go take a look at it. We are going to dismantle everything that is on the rear subframe because I need to take the actual rear subframe itself over to powder coating, and then we are going to take a look at all of the components that are on it right now, and we're going to discuss what we're going to be doing with the rear subframe and all the new things that we're going to be upgrading, bushings and all that stuff. I have a lot of people who are throwing suggestions about what we should do. I think I have a pretty good idea of how I want to approach this portion of the build. But yeah, so today's main focus, you guys, just get the rear subframe over to powder coating and take a look at the diff and how everything looks, and we can start putting together a good game plan for how we're going to attack this portion of the build, because this car is about to get even better than it already is. I didn't even know if that was possible, but yeah, I guess it is. So the way that this car is going to handle is just going to be unbelievable compared to how it is now. If you guys are new to the channel, this is my 135 1M clone. It's got a lot of great things done to it. However, the suspension and basically everything underneath the car is just stock 135. And to be honest with you, I just want better. I have an E92 M3 at home. It handles fantastically well. This car, however, does not handle that great. And I think when we're done, this car is going to be an absolute monster on the road. Really, really excited for it. Ooh, that 6266 still sounding fantastic, man. It's such a pleasure to drive this car. It's really fun owning the E92 M3 and this car because they're just so completely different. Like, you have the NA V8, sounds incredible, not the fastest, handles great, super, super fun to drive. And then you have this car, also fun to drive, but just like a different kind of fun because it's just really fast in a straight line. And you have the big 6266 Dock Race top mount kit, the T51R mod, just totally different types of sounds and feelings coming from both cars. It really is a great mix-up, a great pair of cars to have in the garage, because depending on what I'm feeling that day, I can drive that car, you know? Okay, so we are back at the shop, CES Motorsport, and we have moved out all of the pieces. The entire rear subframe is here. It looks good. The E92 M3 subframe that this is out of, the car had, I think, about 80,000 miles, somewhere right around there, which was relatively low for the majority of subframes that I found online. And the guys over at Naughty Auto Parts gave me a really, really good deal, so I pulled the trigger on it. So this is how the 1 Series is sitting now with the champagne gold wheels. Man, it looks so good with this setup. I think we're gonna have to keep them on. Just looks so nice with that contrast. And here is our new subframe. Today what we're going to be focusing on is dismantling the actual subframe. I'm going to be taking the subframe itself over to the powder coating spot, and I think I'm actually going to have this subframe powder coated in like an OE silver finish, something like this. It's going to be a bit different than what you usually see. The reason I want to do that is because the theme of this car, there's a lot of silver going on in the engine bay. I think that looks really good, and rather than just going with standard black. I figured why not do something that has a little bit of pop to it. So we'll do something like an OE finish silver, and I think that's going to look really, really nice on this subframe. Now, obviously, there's a lot of things that are going to be replaced and upgraded in this subframe as well. One being the actual subframe bushings. We're going with a solid subframe bushing. We are going to be keeping the stock E9X diff and the stock E9X axles. Obviously, the brakes right now are E9X brakes. Those are going to be changing as well. I haven't decided if I'm going to go with an F80 brake setup, kind of like I have on my E92 M3. The other option is to run the F87 comp brakes. They have the larger silver brakes from factory that look really, really good. I might go with those. I haven't quite decided yet, but I'll figure all that out later. I've got a lot of work to do before then. The arms are all going to get replaced with OE, brand new OEM arms. This is not a track car. I don't need to run full SPL catalog, and I also don't want that. I want something simple. I want something OE. The rear sway bar is going to get upgraded, and the rear toe arm, however, will get upgraded to an SPL arm, likely SPL. And for the trailing arm, I will upgrade that as well to something different. As far as the diff bushings, those will also be upgraded to a poly diff bushing. But other than that, we're just going to be sticking with OEM. And I think that that's going to be a really good middle ground between something that is not too rigid, but can handle the amount of power we're throwing at it, and it still feels good on the street. So first things first, we are going to start dismantling. We also have to pull out the old subframe bushings so they can powder coat this thing. Basically, everything you see that's connected to the subframe needs to come off so I can take the subframe over to powder coat and they can start doing their thing. All right, you guys, so check it out. We got another car in the shop, Jose's Supra, 8-second Supra. I don't think you guys have seen this on the channel before, but it is a pretty crazy car. Freaking insane, dude. 8-second car that gets over 30 miles per gallon. That's crazy. It's such a good looking car. He's got the red carbon cut. This thing's so sick. Launch edition. Full cage. He's got a parachute set up too, so you can see the parachute handle right there. He took it off for street. And then he's got bead locks for the track. This thing's just mental, bro. It's cool seeing these two cars together. All right, so the white Supra that you guys just saw, this is the power it's making at 8.8?
Yes,
right?
I think he ran at 880 at the track with the slipping trans, so he needs to upgrade the transmission, and then it should.
What is it, stage
2 right now?
2?
He needs to go up to stage 3.
That's crazy.
And then he should be able to get into the mid to low 8s with that setup.
Freaking monster, dude. Cool. So body Ecutech, 8-second Supra, looks pretty nuts. Clean graph.
Beautiful curves.
Yeah, looks really good. Looks really good. Don't record it. Didn't happen. Yeah. All right, guys, so we just finished pulling out the subframe and all of the original bushings. Pretty, actually not horrible, but obviously not reusable, and it doesn't really make sense to keep any of them because we're going to be upgrading the majority of them. So here is the entire subframe as it sits. Looks pretty good, not too bad. Tiny bits of rust up here, which is pretty normal, but I'm not really worried about that at all. This thing is just going to get refinished. So next step, let's take this thing over to powder coating. Subframe and a E92 M3. Plenty of room. All right, and we are off to the powder coating shop. We're using Best Damn Powder Coating. They are in Waxhaw, North Carolina. We are in Monroe. It's only like 3 miles away, so pretty convenient. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the OEM silver on this. I think that's gonna look really good. I'm excited to see how it looks when it gets back. The next video that you guys see, we will probably be reassembling the subframe, so I'm ordering all of the components on Monday. I have a meeting with the guys over at Turner Motorsport, and we will be getting everything sorted out. Got a lot of stuff that we need to get in order for this car. A lot of different components, a lot of different moving parts. So, gonna be good though. All right. Package delivered. Best Damn Powder Coating. You guys hit them up if you need anything. The color I went with is called BMW Silver. It's supposed to be an OEM BMW silver color. They had a little swatch there of the color, and I think it's gonna be perfect on this subframe, man. I think it's gonna be really, really good. She said it's gonna be done in about a week. Pick up subframe, start, hopefully we can have everything by then and just start reassembling. And yeah, I think that, you know, really the thing that's gonna take the longest is probably gonna be the brakes, getting the brakes situated, because I can't quite decide. Like, I'm heavily leaning towards doing the M2 competition brakes, and the reason I want to do that is because, one, they just look really freaking good, and two, you can actually run the M2 comp brakes with 18-inch wheels, which a lot of people were like, oh, you can only run 19s. You can't run the 400mm rotor. You have to run a 380mm rotor. So at least for the front. I think for the rear, you're fine with just running it the way it is, and then we should be good, man. And I think that's going to be a really clean setup for the car. I really like the idea when doing this type of stuff. I really like the idea of sticking with OEM, like, if I can. I just prefer OEM over aftermarket in most cases. But yeah, I think that those brakes look really freaking good too. Like, I love the color of them. They're like silver. They have the M badging, obviously. And they just, yeah, they're just one step up from like the standard F8X brakes. Also, you have to remember, like, you know, you go to a big brake kit and it's like 10 grand to do like the whole car. You're spending a huge chunk of change to do like a real big brake kit on that car. And that car just doesn't need that, you know? Like, the only reason that I'm going to a bigger brake kit on it is because really, like, it looks better. You know what I mean? So if I'm gonna do it, like, I might as well just do the OEM one that I think looks really good and fills out the wheels. And obviously, you know, the power of stopping is gonna be a little bit better, but the 135 stock brakes really aren't that bad. Bigger caliper, bigger rotor looks better, but, you know, do you really need to do it? No. So effectively, everything will be F8X. So I'll use F8X knuckles, and then we will run the E9X Öhlins Road and Track with my Millways. And this car is actually getting a completely different suspension setup. We got picked up by another company for the track build, so very excited about that. We'll talk about it in a future video, but this suspension is going to be going over to the 1M clone, so it's going to be crazy, man. Like, the thing is going to be really well sorted. Oh, and people were asking about drive shaft. So for drive shaft, we are doing, basically it's a custom drive shaft. We're taking a E92 M3 drive shaft that I have at the shop, an extra one, and I'm going to have it shortened. So we will put the subframe, the diff, everything in the car, and then we will take measurements. We'll run the drive shaft over to a company out in Concord that does shortening and balancing for us on the drive shaft, and then I'll get it back. It's only like a couple $100, and then get the drive shaft back, and we can install everything, and we'll be good. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching the video, and I hope you enjoyed this one. Next video, we will probably be getting the subframe back. It's gonna be sick. See you in the next one. Peace.